This is why swimming in a 25-yard pool is so much faster than swimming in an Olympic-sized 50-meter pool. And to illustrate this, I have all 3 different pool sizes on the whiteboard. Now we know that the fastest you swim is when you go off the block or push off the wall. The momentum that you have is just cutting through the water because we know the water is 800 times more dense than air. Now let's make the numbers really simple, and let's say that your underwater phase, you're swimming at 3 meters per second, and your overwater speed is only 1 meter per second. It's a little bit extreme, but work with me on the numbers. So in a 50-meter pool, how long would it take you to swim the entire 50 meters? Don't worry, I'll do the math with you. So we know our underwater speed is going to be 3 meters per second, and our overwater speed is going to be 1 meter per second. Well, the first 15 meters is only gonna take us 5 seconds. That's to this line right here, not drawn to scale, but you get the idea. And then we're gonna have the second part of the race, the next 35 meters, we're moving at 1 meter per second. That's gonna take us 35 seconds for a total time of 40 seconds to complete this 50-meter swim. Now let's introduce a turn. Now we have a 25-meter pool, and so we're gonna swim the first 15 meters underwater at that same 3 meters per second. So the first 15 meters of the first length is gonna take us 5 seconds. Then the second half, or the last 10 meters of this 25-meter pool, we're gonna swim at 1 meter per second. That's our speed over the water. We have 10 meters at 1 meter per second. That's gonna take us 10 seconds. You add those two together, we're at 15 seconds per length, and we have 2 of those, 2 25s equals a 50. Now we're at 30 seconds. So you can already see the same distance, 50 meters, to go 2 lengths in a 25-meter pool or 1 length in a 50-meter pool. The difference is pretty dramatic just because the underwater swimming speed is that much faster. Now let's see how much more ridiculous it is when you get to a 25-yard pool. Same formula. The first 15 meters of a 25-meter pool or 25-yard pool, we're gonna be moving at the same 3 meters per second. So it's gonna take us 5 seconds to move that first 15 meters. And then the remainder is less than 10 meters, about 8.5 yards to go, which is 7.7 meters of swimming. So we have 7.7 meters to go at 1 meter per second. That's gonna take us another 7.7 seconds. You add those together, you're at 12.7 times 2, you're at 25.4 seconds. As you can see, these are pretty dramatic. The difference between swimming in a 25-yard pool, 25-meter pool, and 50-meter pool. Now, even though I use pretty ridiculous numbers trying to show the difference between a 3 meter per second underwater and a 1 meter per second over the water, really just to demonstrate how much of a difference there is between short course and long course swimming. Now, my goal in this video is to show you what to do with that information and how you can actually think about your race strategy across a few different variables. And then at the end, I want to show you a few pro tips that you can implement in your training to be fast, whether it's in a 25-yard pool, 25-meter pool, or 50-meter pool. Now, one of the best ways to analyze and compare results is to look at the same event competed in different pool lengths. Now, you can look at the top swimmers and you can see that the world record is actually much faster in the 25-meter pool compared to the 50-meter pool in every single event. And when you look at what the Americans swim in a 25-yard pool in the United States, it is even faster than that. So what I want to do is I actually want to do a little bit of analysis on my own swimming. I recently competed in the 50 breaststroke in all 3 disciplines. I have 4 different races. I'm going to give you guys some commentary. The first one is from the Dubai Open, where I won the B final of the 50 breaststroke. This is a long course race, and in the water, you can already notice in a long course pool, you're taking a lot more strokes. Now, this video clip is from my full vlog competing in Dubai at the Open. So if you haven't checked that out, I vlogged all the way up to the World Championships in Doha. That was pretty amazing. But as you can see, I was swimming a lot of strokes, and in this 50, as you can see, pumped up, finishing, winning the heat, going a lifetime best, and my time was a 30.13. And in that 50, I took 25 strokes. Now, what's really interesting, especially in breaststroke and butterfly, because of the pullout and because of the underwater dolphin kick, and because both arms are moving at the same time, you actually take a lot less strokes in a short course pool compared to swimming in a long course pool. All right, moving on to my next race. This is in a 25-yard pool at my alma mater. I'm in lane 5. You can see me right there on the blocks, grabbing the block. This is the Michigan Masters State Championships. I had a really clean entry, and you can see with the pullout, I pop up, and I'm almost already at the wall. And you can imagine the top swimmers, how much further they go on the pullout. I only took 6 strokes on the first length work the pull out. That red mark is the 15 meters in the other direction. And you can see coming into the finish, it's a lot more tempo than you have in the long course. Long course is still a sprint. And I come in 8 strokes, that's a 26.77. I only took 14 strokes on that 50. Compare that with 25 strokes, almost 2 times as many strokes in the 50 long course version, all because it's the same distance, a little bit longer in meters, but because of that pullout. Not having that turn and that push makes a dramatic difference in the races. Now let's go ahead and move on to my next race. This was recently at the Canadian Masters National Championships, short course meters. This is in Windsor Aquatic International Training Center in Canada. Thank you for the hospitality, letting an American come in there and swim. I'm in lane number 3. Keep an eye on me and the guy in the lane next to me, lane 4, he broke the Canadian record. Look how fast he was on that pullout. Oh my goodness. Everyone else is in a line behind him. Now this race, I actually didn't execute quite as well as I did in my PB at the Dubai Open. I was a lot sharper, my stroke was really good. Here, I'm moving still pretty fast, but my stroke was not as good. That first 25, I took 8 strokes, and coming in now on the second 25, I was really forcing my stroke, not as clean. Into the finish, a little bit long, I took 10 strokes, and that was a 30.11. So even though my stroke wasn't as good, I really forced it. I was long on the finish. I still went a little bit faster than my PB, where I felt way better in the long course. And that's because in a short course meter pool, you're gonna swim anywhere from 0.5 to 0.8 faster in the exact same event, just because you get that wall. Some people, it might be a little bit more than others. I took 18 strokes. Now I wanna show you guys another race that I did in short course meters with a relay start to show you how that can actually impact. This is the mixed 200 medley relay. I'm there in lane number 3, and here I go, diving into the water, get a flying start, a little bit of momentum, and I was a little bit smoother and I split faster. So I had a smoother stroke on the way going out. I didn't really force it. This felt more similar to my 26.7 that I went flat start in yards. Already I was smoother. I only took 7 strokes on the first 25 compared to taking 8 on the last 50 that I just showed you guys. And I felt a little bit smoother, a little bit more in control in my stroke. And I come into the finish, I took 10 strokes easily there, and that was 17 strokes, and I split a 29.5. That swim was a little bit more in line with my 26.7 and a little bit better than my 30.1. All that goes to show is how much of a difference it makes when you swim in a 25 meter pool versus a 50 meter pool. Now I want to show you guys some different things to pay attention to when it comes to race strategy. But you know what? Let's hear it from the swimmers themselves. I want to take you onto the pool deck at the Canadian Masters Nationals. I had the opportunity to talk to a few folks. Let's hear what they have to say.
And the difference between short course and long course, what's the difference? How do we feel? How do we approach it?
I try to make sure you got to bring the legs in a little bit more on the long course, but at short course you got to work your walls.
You get an extra speed boost off the wall right after that 25, so work the wall, work the pull out.
Yeah, I love the walls. I love the underwaters. It's been my stealth mode, so looking forward to doing some yards meets next year and coming down to the States.
And talk to me about racing in short course versus long course. We got short course today.
Long course is just a whole different ball game. You have to strategize a little differently. You don't have the walls to get your rest from. Like 400 IM example, just long and strong that first 50, build the second 50. And so really focusing on keeping your stroke long, like an easy hard, so you don't run out of steam. Some things I like racing short course, and some things I like racing long course.
We love this YouTube channel. We love Faris. We're happy to see him here. Keep doing big things. Keep putting out good content. We love you, man. Come back anytime.
I'm coming back to Canadian Nationals.
Thanks, Ferris. Whiteboard Wednesdays.
Let's go, baby. That's 50 frames, gentlemen. Woo, speed.
Let's talk about race strategy. As you just heard the folks say on the pool deck, walls can make a big factor in the difference between short course and long course, but another thing to consider is your pace. Now, as Carly mentioned in the 400 IM, you want to really build that first 50 and negative split it strong on the second 50. That applies in both the short course yard, short course meter, but also in the long course, more so, because if you go out too fast in a 50 meter pool, you're just going to fall apart and die. So you really need to be a little bit more conservative with your energy and really pace things things a little bit longer because the race is longer. Look at my dramatic example. We went 25.4 seconds in one of these and 40 seconds in the long course pool. That's a pretty dramatic difference considering we're swimming the same event. Another attribute to consider is your breathing. Now, if you swim the 50 freestyle in long course, it's gonna feel a lot different than swimming in short course. You might be able to only take 1 or 2 breaths in a short course distance 50, but when you swim long course, you might have to double that. 1 breath in a 25-yard pool is the equivalent of 3 breaths in a 50-meter pool. You heard that right. It is that much harder to maintain your speed without taking a breath. Another consideration is the walls. You've heard about this. You gotta work the walls. Like my friend in the 50 breaststroke, he was a cannon off the walls, and it just goes to show that's why he broke the Canadian record. Yes, his swimming was fast, his mechanics were good, but his walls were even better, and that's why you have to really focus on your walls if you want to be successful in the shorter distance pools. And another attribute is your technique, specifically your tempo. When you're swimming in long course, you have to have really good mechanics. If you spin your wheels, if we're doing a 50, if you spin your wheels, meaning you don't catch a lot of water in that first part of the race, by the time you get to the end, you're gonna completely fall apart. The longer the race, the more true that is. Contrast that with a shorter distance event, like in a 25-yard pool, you can muscle your way through a 25-yard pool. As you saw when I was comparing my 50 breaststroke, I didn't really feel that good when I went a 30.11. I ended up going even faster than I went in short course because you can get away with it. Guaranteed, if I swam the same way in the long course as I did when I went that 30.1 in a 25-meter pool, probably would have gone almost a full second slower than this 30.1, probably a 31.0 or a 30.9. Just goes to show how important the mechanics are in the beginning of the race, making sure you set up your stroke so that way you can excel all the way to the finish. And whether you're competing in a short course or long course pool, you have to make sure your nutrition is on point. Everyone is different, and that's why having a personalized plan is so important. I recently took Gainful Nutrition's online quiz to see exactly what I needed and pumped that they're sponsoring this video. Gainful fuels your personal performance through a clean and science-backed formula. Whether it's hydration or protein, they've got you covered. Gainful even has an unflavored protein that comes with flavor sticks, so you can change your flavor literally every single day. They also have daily performance greens, customized protein powder, and hydration packs. It's important that you're fueling for success. And after watching this video, I want you to go visit gainful.com and take the 5-minute quiz to get your personalized nutrition system. Now I want to talk about 3 pro tips that really help you in your training, whether you're swimming in a 25-meter pool, competing in long course, or you're training in a long course pool, competing in a short course event. Now the first drill or technique, or I like to call them short bursts off the wall minus your streamline. Now I gotta be careful when I say minus the streamline. You still push off the wall and streamline, you're just not gonna dolphin kick or do a pull out. So maybe I should say minus streamline kick or pull out. And what you're doing is you're trying to mimic speed that you wouldn't normally have in a longer distance. So what that means is you push off the wall in streamline and you immediately take your first stroke at the flags. But the idea is that you burst into the first stroke and really work on that explosive movement, because that's what you need in a shorter distance. The shorter distance, the shorter the pool, the more important this drill becomes. Another benefit of doing this, especially if you're doing breaststroke or something where you do a long underwater kick out, is you get to swim more of the stroke before the pool ends. For me, I'm always training in a 25-yard pool, but if I want to go in a short course meter pool or a 50-meter pool, all of a sudden, I'm not used to taking that many strokes in a row. So the benefit of pushing off the wall and floating up to a streamline, out of a streamline into the stroke as quickly as possible, is that I can squeeze 3 or 4 more strokes into the 25-yard distance than if I had just done the pullout. Yes, the pullouts are important, but so is the swimming. And as you saw, I took 25 strokes in a long course 50, but only 14 in a short course 50. It goes to show how much more training you need of the actual stroke. And this is one of the best drills that you can do to really get your speed leveraged off the wall and also learn how to translate it into the first few strokes, which is a skill that you need no matter what the distance is. Now, another pro tip is to overtrain the distance, especially if you're gonna swim in a long course event in a short course pool. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to swim a little bit more than your actual race distance. So if you're swimming in a 50-meter pool and that is the race you're going after, you might need to do 75s fast or do breath work that really trains you for a 75. If you're gonna train the 100 or compete in the 100, you need to train 125 distances. If you're gonna swim a 200, you gotta swim 225 or 250 yards to equal the overall stress and fatigue that you'll experience in a 200 distance. Remember, you're swimming a much different proportion of the race, underwater versus overwater, when you go from a short course to a long course. And that's why it's important to think about not just the distance, but how much swimming are you actually doing. Now, the third pro tip here is to be more intentional with your walls. If you got the memo here from the entire video, it's that when you swim in short course, the walls become that much more important. And if the math doesn't prove it to you, I don't know what will. So really make sure you're applying yourself when you do these drills. Give yourself enough rest, really power through, throw fins on, add equipment, add variety, make it interesting, because that's how you're gonna take it to the next level. Now, I've done a few other Whiteboard Wednesday sessions where I show you guys the difference between short course and long course and more ideas on how to train. If you want more like that, check out this video over here. I'll see you over there, and happy swimming.